episode 190. Go and get real close to that 200. We got Superman and we have Fist of Konshu with Moon Knight. Let's talk about him right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to jump right into this. But yeah, I have a couple of things going to be happening in 2025 I'm excited about. In fact, one of my films is, I think I'm going to do a raise for it through WeFunder. We've been talking about that. Plus, I am finishing up the script right now for my next comic book called Fairy Tales of Terror. It's going to be awesome. So finishing up that, I think we just settled on an artist. So I'm excited to work with someone new. Yeah, let's see what happens with that. So let's jump into Superman. So this is written by Joshua Williamson. He normally does a good job. I don't think this is a bad issue, but I feel like it's a filler issue. Nothing really happens here, and it's told weird with interludes and stuff like that. So we have Lex that has lost his memory, which is completely stupid. And we, of course, we have Supercore instead of LexCorp now. Lex Luthor basically handed him LexCorp, and they renamed it Supercore. And for some reason, Lois Lane has the powers of Zod, and she's Superwoman right now. So we have two Superwomen, because you also have another Superwoman that's Lana Lang, which I didn't even realize that was this continuity. But apparently it is. So you have Supergirl, Superwoman. I'm like, there's two Superboys. It's just, there's too many. There's too many. They're going to have to weed some of these people out. Just start killing people off. I think that's... If you're going to start just making up random characters, you got to kill them off eventually. But anyway, Doomsday came to him as a intelligent, emaciated character, and he is like traveling time or something like that. And they have Doomsday himself imprisoned. So we're going to get into that. But anyway, so Supergirl and Superwoman, which is Lois in this case, are chatting while they're fighting. You know, I had a really good time at the spa today. Got my nails done. Oh, wait. Well, boom. Yeah. Weird stuff like that. And Superman decides that they're going to go on date night in space. So that's what they're doing. So it's got great artwork by Dan Mora. That's one thing it's got going for it. So they decide that they're going to play darts. Except they're going to play darts on the moon with boulders. I don't know how that affects things on Earth. Does that create a tidal wave? I don't know. Oops! We're sorry that our little game cost, 250 lives. But I think this is kind of silly. And I always thought it was Livewire. It's Silver Banshee. I keep forgetting who Jimmy Olsen's girlfriend is. But we have literally an interlude of them watching television. What? I don't need to see a comic book to see that. So we go back now to them talking to Zatanna. They're seeing the dinosaurs. They're playing with crypto. It's just, I guess they're trying to unwind. But why do I need to see this? I don't know. And why do I need to see multiple pages of it? Then they're on another planet. They're going to have dinner. Okay. And then we get them talking about Doomsday and how she's worried and all this other stuff. She can't go through that again. And then they're about to do whatever they're about to do, and they both hear Kara calling for them. It wasn't Kara, that's right. It was Amethyst. Which I haven't seen Amethyst in a while. I'm not sure I like the new costume, at all. There's really nothing to that in the least. So anyway, they're like, we need help. We're about to go to war. So they just happen to go to a planet to have date night where there's going to be a war. Okay. Then we get another interlude about Doomsday. They have him with I guess, that plant on them where he's in his dream world or whatever else, and he's thinking about killing Superman. And then we're back to the Amethyst, whatever, gemstone, gem planet, or whatever you want to call it. And Lois solves the problem within 30 seconds, so the war doesn't happen. They're like, yes, peace. And Superman's like, do you have something to do with that? Yeah, well, one of them wanted medicine, blah, 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 and now I averted the war. Okay, well, you're amazing. You're amazing that you can talk to people like that. And I guess that Mercy has the hots for Lex, and Lex comes in and he's, oh, you know what I drink, coffee? Yeah, I know exactly what it is. That's amazing. Everything's so amazing in this comic. Yay! Except for the action, of which there is none. So they decide to go back home to Smallville to get burritos, and then they kiss, and now that's where Kara calls them. Right? So they get called again as they're kissing, and this time it's Kara, and they're like, we got a problem. So they run to where Kara is, because they were only in Smallville. They're like, we'll be there in 30 seconds, even though it's like 200 miles or whatever. And I guess there's an entire armada about to attack the planet, and obviously there was no early warning system. NORAD, nobody knows shit. NASA didn't know nothing. We have this huge armada, but there's no early warning whatsoever. Okay, Joshua. Whatever, man. So then we get this guy that they're all dressed. This is the one thing I kind of like. They're all dressed like when the prisoner thing, like Doomsday was in when he first landed on the planet. They're like, well, he destroyed our planet. We're going to take him from you. And if you're not going to do it, then we're going to kill you all. It's kind of like what Zod did during the Flash movie. Well, if you don't, give us Kara Zor-El or whatever else, we're going to destroy your planet. Whatever. Anyway, aside from the art, this issue is a piece of trash. So hopefully it'll pick up in the next issue. But this was a complete throwaway issue. I don't know how long it took him to write it, but whatever he got paid for it, it was too much. All right, so before we continue, I am going to tell you about my comic. If you've seen this 100 times, feel free to jump forward. This is chapterized, by the way. So we got Lords of L.A. That's my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. It is 48 pages long. It is a vampire sex love story with a bunch of vengeance thrown in there. So there's plenty of blood, sex, and violence in there, and it takes place in the 50s. So Marilyn Monroe also makes an appearance in there, but this is issue number 1. And then we have a bunch of alternate covers for issue 2. It's the main cover. This is, I call it the Katana cover. This is the Helene cover. This is the Samurai cover. And this is the Were Panther cover. And again, the artwork inside is really, really good. You can see it's an adult thing in there. Don't buy this for the kids. And then it's the Maryland cover with the Nosferatu shadow on it. Really good stuff. I also have it digitally. If you don't want to have it shipped, I can just send you the digital copy as well. Just let me know in the comment section, or you can email me. All right, and I'm just going to leave those there. And then we also hooked up with Moonstone Books. They own the rights for the Green Hornet. It is the 50th anniversary. This is not the book we're going to be launching, but this is an example of what they've done in the past. And we have a bunch of different writers on this, including Timothy Zahn. Timothy Zahn created Thrawn for Star Wars. There's also Kevin J. Anderson on this book. And a bunch of others, Brandon Easton, who wrote for Marvel for the Peggy Carter series. Just a whole bunch of people. We have Matt Wagner on the cover. He's done Batman. He's done Grendel. Of course, he owns Grendel. There's a bunch of really, really great people on this. It's going to be a hardcover book. It's going to be signed by various artists and writers. And you can just either just go to greenhornetnoir.com and get signed up when we launch at the end of January, or there's a link in the description below as well. All right, so let's jump into Moon Knight. So this is Fist of Konshu number 3. This is restarted when he came back from the dead. He is dating Tigra, Greer, I think her name is. We don't get to see her son at all, but now finally we get her son mentioned in here. So he's fighting with a drug dealer. It was pixie dust or something like that the guy was selling. I forgot what it was called. But he warned the guy, stay out of my city, blah, blah, blah. And the guy is now fighting back. And it's really good that he doesn't look like a villain. He's not like a super villain type of thing. But I like the fact that he's got somebody that's fighting back with a little bit more than just strength, where he's connected with the cops, all this stuff. And at the end of the last issue, he tells Greer, Moon Knight tells Greer that I guess the baby daddy, which is Hank Pym, is alive. I didn't know Hank Pym was dead anyway, nor did I know that Tiger and Hank Pym were hooking up, but I guess they did. So now we jump into this, and it kind of ends up right where the other one left off. But we have the minion of the guy, of the drug dealer guy, and she's got that big sword on her back, and that comes important in a second. And she pulls out the sword, and the mission, the midnight mission, the building is alive. And she uses it to kill the building. But I wish we got to see a little bit more than just that splash page, because we really don't see the repercussions. But all we do from this point on is hear that the building's dead. So meanwhile, they're having the conversation about Hank Pym being alive, and he's like, you should have told me, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you tell me? But then they feel the rumbly grumbly, and we have a new artist on here. I'm not really a big fan of this artist when we had the other artist on here forever, but I know he needs a break. So, but she's like, what was that? And then we have the cops show up. So yeah, so this is like a several pronged attack from this villain. I thought that was kind of cool, where we have the cops come in, and then on top of that, the building is now dead. It's just a lot of stuff going on. Then at the end, we find out something else as well. So it's actually a three-pronged attack. But anyway, so they're in over their heads. So he's like, freeze, freeze, and he's like, soldier, take him. Okay, boss. And we have her diving over, and so they're fighting the cops. That's like bad news right off the bat. So, because that's not, it's not going to end well either way. But anyway, so she's like, I give up. But anyway, we need to get out of here. There's no way basically they can win this. And I've got this really cool picture of Moon Knight. At least we have the same colorist on it, where it gives almost that glow of all the whites. I really like the glow. That was a good idea of kind of covering up the blacks with the white on Moon Knight. So they're like, all right, let's get the hell out of here. So they finish up the fight, and then they get out. And they're like, where are we going? And he opens up this hatch, and they go down. And they're like, really? We're going to be living underground? I guess they could go hang out with the Titans, because the Titans are living underground now, too. So they're like, well, why didn't we use this before? And he's like, because I needed to be found, and now I need to not be found. So at least there's a reason. At least Jed McKay is giving them a reason for being down there and being away from everything. And then they find a dead body. And he's like, well, what happened to the other guy? Oh, there he is, and it's got a crescent dart. I thought that was pretty funny. So they're like, well, what are we going to do now? Why are the cops chasing us? Even if they were paid off to do it, they would have had to arrest us for something, which is true. So, again, at least he's covering all his bases here. He's like, I've just hooked up the TV, so let's see what the news is saying, because he has an idea about what's going on. And Soldier's like, don't touch me, 8-Ball. But they planted drugs inside the Midnight Mission, and instead of it being the pixie dust, they called it moon dust. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Glitter. It was called Glitter originally. And they changed the name to moon dust, which I thought was pretty cool too. And now they're being hunted by everything. I really like this issue. I'm not a fan of Jed MacKay writing Batman at all, or Avengers for that matter. But he really knows what to do with Moon Knight. He should just stay on this book because he can't write anything else. Will this make a good film? If they did this like the TV show, I would be. The TV show sucked. This was good. I'm into it. I'm into it. I like what they're doing. And the Superman date issue. No, this is. I don't know what they're doing with Doomsday yet, but Lois being Superwoman, all that. No, this will never make it to the screen ever. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really greatly appreciate it, and Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to all of you. And give me a thumbs up if you can. Give me a like, and also subscribe to the channel if you can. It's free. Just ring that bell, ding, ding. And remember, too, to go to greenhornetnoir.com or a link in the description below. And definitely check out the Green Hornet Anthology. It's going to be amazing. So get notified. It's a quick click to get notified, so it's nothing. All right, on Kickstarter. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week and a great rest of your holiday. Bye-bye.